Hello everyone, welcome back to Andy's Armoury. Today we're going to look at this Tokyo Marui Famas. Now this is one of my guns. This is my very original airsoft gun that I started with. It's something I bought in 2005 and played my first game ever in 2006. Now this poor gun got sort of put on the sideline as my collection of guns got bigger, and it hasn't been used in many years. I'm going to use today as an opportunity to open this one up, give it a bit of TLC and bring it up to a slightly higher standard compared to some of my other guns, just so we can get a bit more performance out of it, and then we'll be able to use it properly in a skirmish again. So yeah, this is one of the original Tokyo Marui Famases, so it's going to have a version 1 gearbox in it, which is different to a lot of things out there, as this is kind of where they all started. So yeah, let's put it on the workbench, open it up and do some upgrades. Just before I take this thing all apart and start upgrading it, when I first got it originally, power wise, it was running a 0.2 at around 270 to 280 FPS, as all Marui guns do and have done for many years. This one's now currently firing at about 250, so it has lost a little bit of power, but I intend on taking it a lot further beyond that. I want to be able to launch a 0.32 at about 270 to 275. If I can get it up that high, that would be perfect. That gets us up to a sort of maximum limit, and then would make this a very usable gun in any skirmish. Here's something though, just to show you how old this thing actually is. Check this out. Look at that, a normal Tamiya connection. Unheard of in today's airsoft, but yeah, that is where it all started. Look at that.
This is the future. Evolution.
So there we have it. That is the original Tokyo Marui version 1 gearbox. Now these always used a different motor to what we're familiar with in the AEGs now. That is not like a V2 or a V3 motor, it's before that, so it's very unique in its own design. So that is one bit that I don't have one here to be upgrading, so that will be staying as is. We're only going to change minimal stuff anyway, so it's going to be things like the piston, the spring, just to make sure they're more durable, and I'll upgrade all the hop-up rubber just to get the more consistency and better lift with the heavier BBs. So let's open this and see what we find. So, there we have it, the original Tokyo Marui gearbox. Look at that. So this thing is, last thing, I got it in 2005, so what are we now? We're 10, 15, 16 years old, this one. And everything still looks good, and it did get punishment back in the day when I first started. It was kind of the only gun I had, so it did everything. But yeah, as I said, since then it has sat on the wall, and yeah, been an ornament for many years. So we're going to treat it to new spring, new piston, maybe some new gears, I don't know. Yeah, no, all looks good. Right, just going through shimming the gearbox. We've got some new metal bushings in there as well, as the original ones were plastic. I'm finding that as I'm trying to shim the sector gear, so it's the one that's going to be going in, The anti-reverse lever, this bit, is rubbing on the bottom of it. So that bit catches the bottom and is stopping it from turning smoothly. So I'm going to shave that back a little bit, just so when that sits underneath this gear, that's not going to be catching. It just keeps everything running smoothly then. Right, gears are all shimmed, they're all spinning nicely with minimal movement. I've ensured that is the right height to engage with the motor when it's in here. So the gears are now set. Our semi-release lever is reduced inside only fractionally, so that clears the gear as it sits underneath it, so it doesn't cause any resistance. So those bits are all ready to go back in. We've just got to choose what we're doing with the piston and spring at the top.
This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution.
This is the chosen piston we're going to use. The reason we've chosen this one is because this has a half track on the bottom. Now this is important for this gun only because that gear is sitting slightly higher than what you might find in a normal kind of version 3 or version 2 gearbox. So having this flat down this side means that can sit in and it will clear those teeth without hitting them, because that would cause all sorts of problems. So we need to use one of those, and I've shimmed it perfectly so that that gear, as that comes round, those teeth mesh up 100% contact with that, so it's going to be nice and efficient as it pulls that one back. There we have it. That's the chosen piston head fitted onto our chosen piston. That will now go in there, and that has got a perfect air seal. There, and just to fit with our chosen spring.
This is the future. Human error.
That's the gearbox all back together, upgraded piston in there, spring in there, new gears, freshly shimmed, freshly greased, so that's ready to go back in. We're going to move on and do the barrel now, so by that we're going to upgrade the hop-up rubber to effectively lift heavier BBs more effectively, and it's an opportunity to give the barrel a good clean. Also, just in case you're curious and if you're wondering, how does a FAMAS trigger being a bullpup rifle function the gearbox right at the back of the gun? It has a metal bar running all the way to the back here, which is linked at that point with that little block, and as you pull that, that pulls all that, which cycles and fires the gun. So yeah, just in case you were curious. So this is the hop-up chamber taken apart. We've got obviously a barrel, that's your standard hot rubber. So the bits we're going to do in here, we're going to clean the barrel. So we'll get all that flushed through. We're going to replace that with one of those. And we are going to replace the nub, which is obviously that bit. And we're going to replace that with one of the Omega nubs. So yeah, let's just put that together.
Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. is the future. Human error. Evolution. This is the future.
Yeah, the gun's all assembled back together again apart from the battery cover. The last thing I'm going to do is change the very old Tamiya full-size connector, and because all of my stuff at the minute still runs on mini Tamiyas, I'm going to put one of those on just for compatibility with my batteries. Yes, it's not a Dean's, I haven't got around to doing it, I've got too many guns, too many batteries, so I'm just going to keep with what I've got. That's another one disassembled, upgraded and rebuilt. This one, as I say, about 16 years old, so it's got a whole fresh lease of life in it now. We've upgraded the piston head, spring, we've got a maple leaf hot rubber in there, we've upgraded the bushings, so on the plastic ones, so we're now metal ones, and we're able to lift .32 ammunition out to an amazing distance. Just to show you on the Corona, that's 269, that's 1.07 joules. So that's going really, really well. Semi-auto is very responsive, and full auto is just as impressive.